Hello and welcome back to my channel. As most of you guys know, I'm Michaela and I make videos about whatever interests me at the time, which could be a very wide variety of topics. First of all, sorry for the weird lighting in this video. It's just kind of a weird weather day on New Year's Eve. Speaking of which, I cannot believe that it is the end of the year. Not just close to the end of the year, the last day of the year, the last day of 2023. This year went by way too quickly for my liking. It seems like it, but it also sort of seems like it's been 2 years in one. I don't know. Does anyone else have that feeling where it's like the year has gone by really fast, but also not fast enough? And secondly, you might notice that I am not wearing my glasses in this video, and that is because I did eye makeup. You can't really see in the way I'm filming it, but it is sparkly. And I wanted to make sure that everyone could see that because obviously that's very important. So before we move on to 2024, I thought I would do a video just talking about some of my favorite TV shows I watched this year. Now, I did watch a fair amount of TV. And this is not going to be like an in-depth review on anything. So if you want that, then just let me know here or on my blog and I'll see what I can do. And this is also not in any particular order. And it's not necessarily new shows that came out this year, just ones that I hadn't seen before. So the first one on my list is Supernatural, which is one that you have almost definitely heard of because it's really famous. It has like 15 seasons. And if you don't know what the show is about, I'll just give you a quick little summary in that it's about two brothers named Sam and Dean, and they basically have to fight monsters and demons and all kinds of supernatural creatures, which is why it's called Supernatural. So I knew this was kind of like a big show in fandom spheres, but I just was sort of like, oh yeah, it's like, it seems cool. But after watching it, I understand why it is like such a big deal because it is a really good show. Like, it just, I love the actors, I love their like chemistry between Sam and Dean. It's like, it's very brother relationship, which I know that's the point, but lots of TV shows and movies and books get sibling relationships kind of wrong, in my opinion. Or I don't know, it's something about it just feels off. But with Sam and Dean, it's absolutely spot on. And I love both of them and their character arcs and journeys. I'm not going to spoil too much in case you haven't seen Supernatural. And then there's Cass. He joins in season 4, I think, and he is my favorite. He is an angel, and he does not understand social conventions at all. If you've watched the show, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he's great. And I just in general, I love the vibe of like fighting monsters. Like one of my favorite shows is Buffy, and that has a very similar vibe. So I don't know, I like that feeling. Just, driving off in Dean's car and going off to different towns, to fight different monsters. And I think the early seasons are underrated. Like, that's just my opinion, because that is very much the vibe of like especially the first 2 seasons. So now that I have seen the show, I can safely say I get the hype. I get the hype 100%. Um I'm not going to say too much more about it because I do have other shows that I want to talk about, and also I don't want to give you any spoilers in case you haven't seen it. But I will say I also love like I don't know, there's some, even though it's a more serious show, there's definitely some funny moments in there. I love like the special episodes. Like there's a Christmas episode, there's a Supernatural and Scooby-Doo crossover, which I know people have mixed feelings about, but I really liked it. I thought it was great. So yeah, Supernatural. I get it now. I get it. The next show on my list is Wednesday, which you also probably heard of because it was like huge, especially last year. But if you don't know what it's about, it's sort of about Wednesday Addams, but instead of her together with the Addams Family is kind of like her off on her own in like a boarding school with kids that have all kinds of different like magical powers. And she has to solve a series of murders that is going on. So I really liked it. I really liked Jenna Ortega as Wednesday. She was absolutely amazing in that role. I think she's an amazing actor in general. And I also really like her best friend Enid. I just like she's so adorable. She's just fun and fluffy and pink, and I appreciate that very much. I also like her friend Eugene. He's just like he's a nerd, but again, he's like really adorable and sweet, and I like her friendships, and I like how Wednesday develops as a character over the series. The rest of the members of the Addams family aren't in it as much, but I do like them when they show up. Except for Thing, I guess. He is there during lots of the action. And I really liked the murder part of it. That's gonna sound like a little gruesome, but I love a good mystery. I love a good murder mystery. And this was definitely a good murder mystery. I also just want to say that I think the cast in general is amazing. Like everyone fit their characters so well, and I think all of them did an amazing job in their roles. And I love that. I also love that Christina Ricci had like a role. It's a smaller role, but still, because she played Wednesday in the '90s movies, and I just thought that was cool. And just in general, I also just really like the vibe and like aesthetic of, I don't know if that's the right word, but I love the sort of mysterious boarding school full of outcasts story idea. Like it just something that I always like. So yeah, and the dance episode, with the iconic like Wednesday dance, that was fun. Like you've definitely seen that, but that was fun. I love like again, like I said, I love any episode that's like kind of special in a way. I don't know if that's how you would describe it, but I love like event episodes. So that one was definitely a good one. And there were lots of interesting twists, which I am not going to spoil for you in case you haven't seen it. And then another show that is on my list that's also a show that's very popular and has been running for quite a while is Criminal Minds. I think I got into Criminal Minds because one of my friends was a fan, and we were doing this thing where I would watch a show that she recommended, and she would watch a show that I recommended. So I watched Criminal Minds, not the whole show. I'm on like season 5, I think. I didn't start until like August. But like I said, I love a good mystery. And Criminal Minds is like a very, procedural type mystery, which is definitely something that I like. I love just like sitting down and watching an episode and, where you kind of know what's going to happen because you know it's going to be a murder, but you don't know the details of what's going to happen. So it keeps my brain engaged enough, but not too much. So, it's kind of not relaxing, but it's easier to watch. But some of the Criminal Minds episodes are like a little darker than maybe like NCIS or something. Just like a little darker, a little gorier, which I don't know, I find interesting. It's like there's more of a variety of different cases because the team, the BAU, which is like an FBI unit, is basically using like psychology and criminology to help find the various different killers. So you have this very interesting variety of essentially villains, and some of the episodes are like a bit creepy. There was one, like I keep getting weird dreams, and then I'm like, oh, why am I getting these strange dreams? And it's like because I watch Criminal Minds before bed. That is probably why I'm getting very strange dreams. But it's not too bad. Like it doesn't scare me too much. It's just like, it's a little spooky, which is good. Although there were definitely some episodes I probably shouldn't have watched at night. But I also love the team dynamic. I love a good I would love a good kind of found family, especially when they're working together as like a team, which is definitely what this show has. I love Spencer Reid. He is like he's a genius, and he's just also a little awkward and really sweet, and I love him. I also love Penelope Garcia. If you haven't seen the show, she does all the stuff with computers and technologies, and she is an icon. She has the best quotes, the best outfits. I just think she's cool and also adorable. So, I love her. I'm also a Prentice stan. Emily Prentice. She's cool. She's badass. I don't know what else to say about her. Just like, I love her. But in general, I love the team and their dynamic. It's a great dynamic. I highly recommend it if you are interested in crime shows. I can't talk today, apparently. And the last show that I'm going to talk about is one that's not going to surprise any of you, because if you watch my last video where I talked about what I got for Christmas, I talked about the show at length, and that is Yellow Jackets, which is a show about like a girls soccer team. When they're on the plane to get to nationals, their plane crashes in the Canadian wilderness. So there's two different timelines. So one timeline is like them as teenagers trying to figure out how to survive the wilderness, and then one is them as adults, sort of showing like the effects of being in the wilderness, but afterwards, and how that affects their lives and all of that. So it's very interesting. I love the different timelines. I think that's cool. I love the cast. Like, all of them are amazing, and all of them fit their roles so perfectly. Like, I just can't imagine anyone else playing those characters. And I also really love how it's also kind of spooky. Like, not in the same way as like Criminal Minds, or even in the same way as Supernatural, but it's more of like a thriller, but there is also lots of suspense, because like lots of the time you don't know what happens next. So I'm just like, please don't let my favorite die. Please don't let my favorite die. It's just, you know what I mean. And there's also sort of like a maybe supernatural element. Like, you don't know, is this supernatural or is this like not? And all kinds of interesting stuff happens. One girl accidentally starts a cult. One girl poisons everyone. No, they don't die, but it's it's quite an interesting episode. Another girl almost gets her face bitten off by wolves. It's like I said, just it's very interesting, and I love the characters. It's not like a cozy vibe of characters, but I think all of them play really well off of each other, and they're just all amazing in their own way. Like I said in my last video, I love Misty. I think that both Samantha Hanratty and Christina Ricci do an amazing job as Misty, and she's so strange, but she's strange in a very entertaining way, and just I don't know how to describe her. Just that she's interesting. I also love Natalie, who's played by Sophie Thatcher as a teen and Juliette Lewis as an adult. She's just like, she's just cool. That's, how almost everyone who watches the show would describe Natalie. She's, a little edgy and definitely seems very tough, which she is, but she is also one of the more compassionate characters, which is cool. I love Laura Lee, who is like a more supporting character, but she's just so sweet. Like, you can't help but like her. And I also like Van, because Van's sarcastic commentary is just everything. Like, I love that about her. I'm not gonna say too much more because, again, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but yeah, definitely check it out if it sounds like something that would be interesting to you. So that is all. I know that 4 is kind of like an odd number, but I didn't want to go down to 3, and I didn't have enough to do 5. So I just wanted to talk about like some of my favorites that I watched this year. And yeah, this is the last video I've made of 2023, which yeah, that's crazy. I'm not even gonna try and think about that much. Just, those were some of the shows that I really enjoyed this year. So definitely let me know in the comments what shows you enjoyed this year. And yeah, I will see you guys next year. Bye.